Hey friends, my name is Steve Guttenberg and I am the Audiophiliac. This is a very exciting, very special episode of the Audiophiliac Daily Show because I'm going to tackle 4 headphones. 3 of them are closed-back headphones, so it's sort of like a contest of kings of high-end closed-back headphones. They are the best there is, and it's funny because most high-end headphones are open-back, and it really wasn't until, I guess, the Audeze LCD XC, which is one of the headphones I'm going to talk about today, that was the first really serious all-out attempt at closed-back high-end headphones. Now, of course, there is the Beyerdynamic T1. That's true, but it isn't quite as aspiring, let's say, as these others. So anyway, this review really came about because I'm reviewing the Sennheiser HD 820, which is the newest of that line. It's essentially a closed-back version of the Sennheiser HD 800S. They share the same driver, the same basic chassis, and everything is the same except one is open, one is closed. Price differences are significant. The 800S is $1,700. The 820 is $2,400, $700 price increase for the closed-back version. So I also am including in this story the Audeze I just mentioned, the LCD XC, and that is $1,800. And just because I had it handy, I'm also doing the Sony MDR Z1R, which is $2,300. So, but let's get to the star of the show. And the star of the show really is this new Sennheiser. It's really beautiful. Looks a lot like the original 800, or in this case, the 800S. Here we go, side by side. Similar, very, very similar. As I said, the same driver is in both. And the headbands are similar, the ear cups are similar, but one noted difference, other than that this one has a cap and this one doesn't, is that the ear pads on the 820 are bigger and thicker and seal out noise better than the open back 800S. They don't do a great job sealing out noise, not as good as the Audeze XC or the Sony MDR Z1R, but not bad. But to start, I'm going to go line up the differences between the 820 and the 800. Now, I really expected and wanted them to sound very, very similar, but they don't. The XC is a closed headphone, and guess what? It sounds like a closed headphone. I mean, it's hard because the 800S is such an open-sounding headphone. I mean, it really sets a standard for openness. As a matter of fact, when it's on your head, you don't feel like it's blocking out any external sound, which is one way that I judge how open an open-back headphone is, because they're not all equally open, not by a long shot. So the 800S and the forebearer, the 800, were extremely open headphones, and this one is not. It sounds like a closed headphone. It sounds like a nice open sounding for a closed headphone, but it's still closed. It does make more bass than the 800S. It does have more grunt. It has more weight than the 800S, but it's not, the 800S just sounds better balanced. I come late to the 800 party because I wasn't always a fan. I run hot and cold on the 800/800S series. To me, it was a little too analytical and cool, and I wanted something with more soul. But I don't know, I have literally, pardon the pun, warmed up to the 800, especially the 800S, which is a warmer 800. But for this review, I threw into the mix the Sony Z1R, which looks like this, and its ear cups are kind of, I guess, similar ideas as going on in the 820, that instead of having an easily reflective surface behind the driver, this has this, for lack of a better way of describing it, breast-shaped ear cup. And this is a great headphone. These thick ear pads do a better job sealing out external noise than the 820. They're both really comfortable, but the 800 slash 820 slash 800 and 820 are really, really comfortable headphones. I mean, just exceptionally lightweight for a high-end headphone. Very, very comfortable. This is up there. The Sony's way up there, but it's not as good as the 800. And it is a closed headphone. The Sony is, and it sounds like a closed headphone. It does not sound open. But rounding out this group is the Audeze. This is the LCD XC, and as you can see, it is closed back. This is a very early production XC. The wood on the later ones is much prettier than this, but this is a phaser XC. And you know what? Compared to the Sony and compared to both Sennheisers, this is a more dynamic, livelier, more just high energy, more of a party headphone, for lack of a better word, than the other three. The bass is so deep and tight and fast. It really sets a standard there, and I love this headphone. But if you're an analytical type, the Sennheisers are probably more your speed. This is a little more rock and roll. The Sennheisers are straight down the middle. As I said, though, I think the 800S is more so. Oops. So none of them is perfect. The Audeze is also definitely the least comfortable and the heaviest of all these. Those big, thick ear pads do a great job sealing out external noise, but the Audeze is not the best headphone to wear if you're going to do listening sessions that go on for hours and hours and hours. If that's a big priority with great sound quality, the 800s, the 800S or the 820 is the way to go. So it's complicated. When people say which is the best headphone, well, there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts in there because it depends on what it is you're looking for. If you're looking for accuracy, as I just said, Sennheiser or the 800S is the way to go. If you want to rock out, the Audeze is great. So the Sony is sort of in the middle. It's closer to the Sennheisers, really, but they're all different, and you can never beat auditioning for yourself as opposed to what some guy on YouTube is telling you or some review in print is telling you. No, ultimately you got to try them on, especially with headphones, because comfort is such a big deal with headphones. So what's super comfortable to me, like the Sennheiser, I don't know, maybe it's not for you, although that's hard to imagine because they're so light, and just the design of them is just seems ergonomically right. I've never heard anybody say that they weren't comfortable headphones. So there you have it. Hopefully I didn't screw up any of the details, but if I did, please check the links below, and there will be more accurate information for your perusal. My name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. Please come back often, and I'll see you real soon.